Hello everybody and welcome back to another F1 2020 video. I know it's been a little while, been busy with doing lots of other stuff, but we are back once again. We're back with Road to Glory. We are with Tier 3 on the Thursday night. We've already won the championship quite convincingly. So what we're going to do, this is the finale, the final round of the championship. So we're going to start from the very back of the grid. We do a 6-minute lap time in qualifying for a laugh and put ourselves at the back of the grid. We're going to see if we can do last to first on this one. We're going to start on the mediums and go to hards, and slightly slower strategy, but we'll see what we can do. But without further ado, let's get straight into this race, and 5 lights, and away we go. And it's a pretty good getaway. Benjamin besides us doesn't get off the line at all. I think he was fast asleep. We just take it a little bit cautious though. Going into turn 1, Jason goes round the outside. The Williams gets a little tap with the Ferrari, goes into the barrier. Somebody else is struggling on the inside. That's Simon Jr. We've gone round him as well. So we've gained another couple of places. There's a Haas going all wide. The Ferrari's having to avoid him, and we're having to avoid the Ferrari in turn. But we have got away cleanly up through this middle sector. Now the Ferrari's having a look at the back of the Haas, but he's weaving from side to side, blocking any escape route through, and the Ferrari slams on the brakes, and we have to take avoid in action. Not a problem though, at least we've still got our front wing intact. That's the main thing. After this first lap, we're in 12th place. We're in a good shout still. Not far away from the points, can't complain of that, as the Ferrari gets it all out of shape, coming out of the middle sector there, and we go up into 11th place now. We are starting on the mediums, as I say, so the cars around us mostly on softs, which is going to mean they have more grip than us, especially on this first lap, but we're doing pretty well to hold on to this. We're going to use a little bit of actually see whether we can get the run on Black Cat up ahead, but I don't think we're going to be close enough come the first corner. He's going to be close with the Haas running side by side. He's got the slipstream there side by side into the first corner. Can we capitalise if any of them make a mistake? Doesn't look like either of them are. And once again, still sat happily in 11th place. Dazblade is out. That's a McLaren in the wall as we nearly pile into the back of the Williams and the Haas. And then it's a virtual safety car. Jason overtakes us. And now we start backing off. I'm not really sure what's going on here, because we have just suddenly got to a crawl, and I can't overtake them being under VSC, but they're going so slowly. I thought I'll give it a go anyway, but it does give us an illegal overtake warning on Black Cat Race, which is really annoying, so we've got to let them pass. And somehow we have a 5-second penalty for being hit by the Haas, which is unbelievable considering we never even made contact, or certainly not as far as I noticed. But VSC is ending. It's been absolute drama on this second lap. We've lost a massive gap if you look at the track map up ahead, but coming out of this left-hander, this hairpin, we get all what out of shape on the curb, lose the back end, as you can see in slow motion, and I haven't got the rest of this recording because it skips, but unfortunately the Ferrari gets a run on us and gets the position back. My recording playing up a little bit and jumping a section there, which is a bit unfortunate, and I think there's another case further on in this video, but we will deal with that as we come to it. So we're going to fast forward. We're in 11th place. We now have an Alfa Romeo all over the back of us. DRS is enabled, so this is going to help us hopefully make a few overtakes. But like I said, even if we get past these few people, there's now a massive gap thanks to that virtual safety car chaos up ahead in the points. The Ferrari is all over the back of Black Cat in the Williams, coming into this middle sector. He has a look up the inside. Is he going to make a move there? There's contact and he's round, and we managed to avoid him and go the long way around. So we've got away with that, and once again another position gained up into P9 now. Not a bad start overall. It has been chaos. We have kept hold of our front wing. We don't have to pit, so that's a bonus. Jim Bob sets fastest lap of the Grand Prix, out in the lead. We're setting personal best first and middle sectors. We've got a nice run on this Williams. We're going to have DRS now as well, all over the back of him, and I think this is going to be a fairly easy move into the first corner. It certainly is. We got the move made before the braking zone even. And there we go. Your recording just skips a little bit there. A bit annoying. I'm not sure what was going on. It does smoothen itself out by the end of the race, but just skipped a few bits here and there. So we've now got a 1.4 second gap to catch up with the Haas in front of us, who has quite a lot of penalties. We go purple in the first sector, and as you can see through the first and middle sector, even with a big snap of oversteer, we are catching already within 8 tenths of the Haas driver coming into this last sector now. Fastest lap of the Grand Prix, bumper car Ben, 1:12.5, but we're going to get a nice run on this Haas with DRS. Going to use a bit of our battery. Can we make the move? DRS wide open, not a very long overtaking opportunity. He doesn't have much battery. We do a 1:12.6, only a tenth away from the fastest lap, and we've got this move made up into the 7th place, up the inside at the first corner. So not a bad lap. So we're on par with the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, despite being on mediums, and up into 7th place now. But we have a 6-second gap up ahead, so we're going to see if we can bring that gap in as we fast forward through the laps. You can see the gap just comes tumbling down. We just have so much more pace than the guys ahead at this current moment in time. We're now down to 1.8 seconds currently on the end of lap 9, and you can see as we go on to lap 10 we are within a second of the McLaren, and come to the end of that lap we have managed to catch right up to the back of the McLaren, who is in turn right behind DJ Lawson in the Red Bull. So let's see if we can get a move made on Naive Rapture up ahead. He goes a little bit deep, a little bit wide in the last corner. We get another jump on the recording, but DRS is wide open. We've got a lovely run and far more battery than the McLaren driver, and once again a nice easy move. We are running quite low downforce considering the nature of this circuit, and it is helping us so much with the overtaking, and we're not actually losing too much in the corners because we've got a really nice mechanical grip. But as we fast forward through the rest of this lap, you can see right behind the back of DJ Lawson in the Red Bull, and it's looking like it's only going to be a matter of time, and that is going to be for 4th place. So from 14th on the grid to 4th place already nearly, as he brakes a bit earlier than I was expecting. I nearly run straight into the back of him in the last sector. My own fault, just caught me out how early he braked. But coming round the last corner now, you see he runs a little bit wide. Again, we get a lovely run on the Red Bull coming out, DRS open. Chuckle Brothers up ahead, pits in the Mercedes as well, so that's 2 positions in 1, and that is us up into 3rd place even. That is a podium position from the back of the grid. Absolutely incredible. We're only on lap 12, and the pace on these mediums feels pretty damn good as we're going, but we have a massive gap to the leaders. We have nearly 12 seconds and then 14 seconds to Jim Bob in the lead, so it's a lot of time to crawl back, but we are well up for the challenge. We have quite a lot of laps remaining, and let's see what we can manage for the rest of this race. So we see Benjamin retires from the session, but if you have a look on the track map, you got in the pit lane, not really sure what's going on. Benjamin retires in the pit lane. Jim Bob in the Haas in the lead goes into the back of him, and then Bumper Car Ben follows, both crashing into him, losing so much time, and even gets stuck. You can see Bumper Car Ben only just gets going now, and that has gained us so much time on them. They're both in the pits, so we have taken over the lead of this Grand Prix, but they have now had to do front wing changes and lost an incredibly large amount of time. So hopefully that is going to give us a chance to get onto the back of these two. As we go towards the end of the VSC, you can see they come out, got about a 9-second gap to Jim Bob now ahead. Obviously, or behind, we have to pit still as well, nonetheless. But they are on hard tyres, we're on mediums. We'll see what we can manage. Our pace has been absolutely phenomenal up to this point. And we'll go back racing once again. 7.5 second gap, there we go. We'll see what we can manage over the course of the next few laps. We're looking to perhaps stretch this stint out to around lap 20. Tyre wear isn't too bad. The tyres are feeling really good. And if we can go to lap 20, I'm pretty confident you can do 16 laps on the softs round here and actually make it a one stop from mediums to softs, which would be pretty good going. But I think we've got the pace and the tyre wear to do so. Let's see what we can manage across the line. We are on to lap 14 now. We've got an 8-second gap. Roll the laps on forward. It stabilises over that next lap pretty much. But you can see the next lap again, we gain about a tenth or two on him. So it's fairly there or thereabouts. On lap 15, full course caution. Safety car is out. And that is going to throw a spanner in the works for my soft tyre strategy. Absolutely no shadow of a doubt. We need to pit now. But if you look at the gaps behind, we have 8 seconds. We will go behind Jim Bob, but 17 seconds to DJ Lawson. We could pit and get out in front of him. However, we have that 5-second penalty for being hit by the Haas under VSC at the start of the race, and I think that is going to cost us and drop us behind them. But it's 21 seconds to Chuckle Brothers. That's where we're looking at to try and get onto the podium if possible, as we sit in the pits waiting for the 5-second penalty and get a brand new set of hards on, and away we go. That'll easily last us to the end of the Grand Prix. We are on the same sort of tyres, but it will bring us to the back of Jim Bob. And as we come out the pits, it is behind Jim Bob and DJ Lawson, but as you can see behind, Chuckle Brothers only just we get out ahead of. So that is us up into a podium spot now. Very happy with that. Some awesome pace, and we have climbed the order like there's no tomorrow. We'll go on to lap 17. We're trying to warm our tyres up a little bit, and we get a few brake checks up ahead, and you just watch the slow motion, how close we are to the back of the Red Bull. DJ Lawson, he reacted to the Haas ahead braking, and nothing any of us could do, but incredibly good reactions by myself to avoid getting another penalty. But here we go, we're on the end of lap 17. Safety car will be coming in at the end of this lap. Let's see what we can manage. We're all on hard compound tyres except Bumper Car Ben in 5th on medium, so he's going to be the one to watch out for because he's going to the end of this Grand Prix as well. However, our hards are a little bit newer and fresher than the cars around, only by a couple of laps. And this safety car restart has taken a long time. Jim Bob is waiting till the very last minute to go, and off he goes now. We get a little bit of wheel spin, get going. But if you look in the mirror behind, Bumper Car Ben's got a great run on Chuckle Brothers. We're having a look up the inside of the Red Bull, but nothing doing there. And unfortunately behind us, Bumper Car Ben is already in behind us and on those faster mediums, and now we are going to be under attack, because there is nothing we can do. He just has far superior grip at this moment in time, especially on the warm-up phase of the tyres coming off the safety car. So we're going to have to try and make a move on DJ Lawson as soon as we possibly can and put a car in between ourselves and the Renault. But through this middle sector, you can see how much more grip. He has a little look at the inside. There's no way he's going to make a move into that middle sector there. That would be very brave indeed. And then as we come out this hairpin, he gets a much better drive coming out of it. And if you keep an eye on the mirrors, he's going to have a look up the inside. He sends one up the inside, and we cut him off very aggressively, absolutely within our right to do so. You can see how far back he was. We braked at the normal braking position, but he was very, very late on the brakes, and we decided to turn in and leave him no space. Like I said, we've got every right to do so because we are still ahead of him. He hasn't got enough of his car alongside, but a very aggressive move by myself. Very unusual for me, but I was very keen because I knew if he got past me, that would be it. But we're going to get a nice run now on DJ Lawson. Let's see if we can make that move. But what has happened to Jim Bob in the Haas up ahead? We get past the Red Bull, but also the Haas has pulled in the pits. I believe he's gone into the wall round the last corner and lost a bit of his front wing. So within one move, we have gone from third to first. Look up ahead, you see the Haas going into the wall, losing the back end. DJ Lawson gets it all wrong, so we get a lovely drive on him. We cut back to the right hand side, and that is 2 positions up in 1. We're in the lead of this Grand Prix. Absolutely unbelievable fortune. Good fortunes for myself. And now, as you can see, look behind, Bumper Car Ben is looking on the aggressive round the outside of DJ Lawson. I think he's got the move made on those fresh mediums. And now, although we're up in the lead of this Grand Prix, we have quite a lot of laps remaining, and we are on the worst tyres possible. Bumper Car Ben is on much better tyres than myself, about the same age as well, only a couple of laps older. So this is going to be difficult to try and keep him at bay, but we're going to try and do our best nonetheless. We are running fairly low downforce, as I say, and this isn't an easy track to overtake, and we do have good pace, so hopefully we can hold him off. It's this initial stint or initial phase that we really need to hold him off. As the tyre wear goes down, we will phase into this Grand Prix and get quicker and quicker compared to the mediums. We go across the line. We are about 7 tenths away from the Renault.
DRS has been enabled.
And we're going to follow on board with this lap, I think, as we try to pull away from him if possible. It's going to be very difficult. We don't want to use too much of our battery because it's so difficult to recharge your battery around here. So if we use it too much now, we won't have anything to defend with. So we're going to save a little bit of it. Just use a little bit here and there where we can, just to keep ahead. But we want to save it all for the start-finish straight. If he's going to make a move, we don't want to be left as a sitting duck. There's a pretty neat first sector. He caught us a little bit coming into the second sector, but we're holding our own. He's just got that superior mechanical grip thanks to those tyres, but we're getting much better traction coming out of the corners, which is very good. The new setup I use today is a bit softer on the rear than I'm normally used to, so it's very understeery for my liking, but it's getting good drive off those corners, and you can see it is paying dividends for us. Through the final corner, we pulled a nice gap back out again, 7.5 tenths. Now the gap come across the line. What are we going to set? It's going to be fastest lap of the Grand Prix, a 1:12.452, and that is exactly what we need right now as we go forward. Now laps roll by, we pull out another couple of tenths over the next lap, and then on lap 22 onto lap 23 we pulled a 1.5 gap. He just drops off. I don't know whether it's his tyre temperatures he's struggling with, but we just managed to get a nice jump on him, and we just start pulling further and further away at this point. And as we go on to lap 26, he does decide to pit, go on to some fresh tyres. So that drops him out of contention. That leaves us with a 12-second gap to Chuckle Brothers in the Mercedes, with Aki in the Ferrari, further 20 seconds back in third place. So we've got a very convincing lead with 6 laps to go of this Grand Prix. But as we go on to lap 30, anything could happen. So let's see. Let's try and keep it nice and neat and tidy for the rest of the race.
Safety car, safety car.
And we got safety car. Naive Rapture has crashed out, and the safety car's brought us out, and that is going to destroy. You see now we've got a 14-second gap to Chuckle Brothers. That is going to destroy that right down. However, we're left with no choice. We've got to pit. We've got 24 seconds to Aki in third, 16 seconds to Chuckle Brothers in second as we get towards the pits. We're only going to drop down to third place, so we might as well pit for softs, because worst case scenario, we're going to lose that first place, but we're going to come back out in second place and be on fresh soft tyres when he's on old hard. So we've got nothing to lose. We might as well go into the pits.
Exit now.
As you can see on the track map, he decides to go in the pits after us as well. He decides to do the same move that we do, and as a result we come back out quite convincingly in the lead of this Grand Prix still. However, he has dropped down a few places, which is unfortunate for the Chuckle Brothers, as they were doing so well in second, but they are on fresh softs. We'll see what we can manage. If you look behind us now, Aki is right behind us, but he's on mediums, Russ on mediums as well, and then it's Bumper Car, Ben on old softs, and Chuckle Brothers on new softs. So this is looking pretty good for the rest of this Grand Prix. We're going to go back racing again at the end of lap 32. As you can see, we're just slowing everyone down, waiting for the safety car to go back in, and we go round the final bend to catch everyone out, and we certainly have done that. We've pulled a 1-second gap as we go across the line, and that is a very nice restart indeed. We lock up quite big time going into the first corner, but it's not the end of the world. Get a nice drive coming out, and let's try and pull a bigger gap as we can and try and go for this fastest lap, which we currently don't have, having been on the hards for so long. There's a few problems in the first sector. Looks like somebody spun, but not affecting us whatsoever. Through this fast left-hander, love this corner, but I tend to find with my setup the back end goes a bit light come towards the end. We're going purple in sector 1. That is what we need, 7 tenths up on our previous personal best, as you would expect. Lower fuel load now on brand new softs.
There's 5 laps of fuel remaining.
Through the middle sector, got personal best in the middle sector, 1.1 seconds up on our previous best, nearly. And then only a couple of corners more to negotiate for the rest of this lap. Let's see what we can manage using all the exit curb, coming onto the start finish straight, get the best run we possibly can. It's going to be a 1:10.692, fastest lap of the Grand Prix, and we have a 3.4 second gap over Mark on his old mediums. Bear in mind, you know, they are old. He's been on them for a little while now, but we're brand new soft, so it's given us a massive pace advantage right now, and it looks set to be a rather convincing win at this point. So let's try not bin it, let's try keep it on the road, but we want to further improve on our fastest lap. I'm not happy with that. I want to go faster again, and we go on purple once again in sector 1, miss the apex, throwing it in through this middle sector. The tyres are getting to boiling point. You can see only just keeping it on the road through there, getting so much understeer, but we are pushing as hard as we possibly can. We are down in the middle part of that sector. Through over the line. Let's see, can we improve on the lap? No, we can't. We have lost a bit of time, unfortunately. Just those tyres, the tyre temperatures are sky high on the fronts around this track. It's very difficult to keep control of. Somebody else retires out of this session, but you can see the gap we've got now is nearly 5 seconds over Bumper Car Ben, who has managed to get into second place on his softs. As we fast forward through the penultimate lap, convincingly this is going to be a fairly straightforward win. Just got to keep it on the road, on the track. Don't want to bin it now. As we cross the line for the final time and the final lap of this championship in the Netherlands at the circuit Zandvoort. Let's see whether we can get a fastest lap on this last lap. We're going to really push, use all of our battery, all of our fuel that we have, but those front tyres are absolutely boiling right now. You see the gap, we've got nearly a 6-second gap to Bumper Car Ben. We've pulled a massive gap in the last 4 or so laps, using all of the track we possibly can to save every few tenths possible. End of sector 1, we got purple once again, half a tenth up, running a bit wide through that right hander, and then we miss the apex by miles and get catastrophic understeer, and we are off onto the grass and just about keeping it out of the wall. And check the tyre temperatures, we're at 107 degrees, and that is why we have absolutely no grip on that front end, and we've lost a good second or so, second and a half to Bumper Car Ben behind, but we have a big enough gap, so we just take it easy for the rest of this lap. No point binning it, and we are going to come across the line and win from second to last place on the grid. Absolutely over the moon with that as we decide to bin it over the line. And that is a brilliant win to round that a fantastic season off. Driver of the day as well, unsurprisingly coming from the back of the grid to first place. And super happy with that. As we said, we've already won the championship in this one. That's why we wanted to do a bit of a challenge this time round. A track that's really difficult to overtake, but we ran quite low wings around this circuit, and it allowed us to make some amazing overtaking moves. And fair play to everyone that we did race against. We had some fantastically fair racing. And there's confirmation of the final standings. Brilliant podium by Bumper Car Ben and Aki. Unlucky my teammate in 4th, narrowly missing out on a podium. And I'll just show you the championship standings at the end. We have a massive lead. We've been utterly dominant in this tier, which has been so nice. And we win the constructors as well. Ferrari hot on our heels. Not far behind, but that'll be it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Do please like and subscribe, and we'll see you again very shortly. But until then, bye bye.